Hi, this is Lee from Real Spirit Dynamics. I'm in my home city of Durham again today. And in this video, what I want to talk about is how to allow the spirit world to use your mind to give you images that are not your imagination, okay? If you master this, then the spirit world will actually use you to pass on messages to other people as well. Some people call this being a clairvoyant. And in a previous video, I did speak about clairvoyance and how some of them are actually not using the spirit world, they're actually using their imagination. So in this video, I hope to tell you the difference between the two and how to know that you're really speaking to the spirit world. So around 7 years ago, I became interested in the spirit world. And since then, I've been a physical medium. But before that, I had very little interest in the spirit world. I went through my whole childhood without seeing spirit like some children do. I went through all my teens, all my early 20s without even being aware that there was a spirit world, let alone communicate with them. For the past 6 months though, I've been concentrating on mental mediumship because I wanted to know if this was a real phenomenon or not, and I wanted to realise myself how mediums actually do this. So when I first started off, I used to go to mediums and I used to say, how do you see the spirit world? What do you see? Can you give me any techniques? And none of them could actually tell me how they actually did it. I used to say, well, do you just see them with your eyes? And they used to say no. I used to say, is it your imagination? They used to say no. And they used to tell me just to meditate and just say what comes to you, which is pretty hard when nothing comes to you. So I got pretty frustrated with this, and I went home and I actually started experimenting with my own mind. I used to try different techniques. I used to imagine things. I used to ask the spirits to show me something with my eyes, which didn't happen. I used to imagine images. I used to say to them, show me something in my imagination. And eventually I came up with a technique that actually worked for me. And everybody who I've told about this technique so far, it's actually worked for them as well. So hopefully this technique will work for you as well. And today I want to share that with you. So here's the technique. Just imagine seeing an alarm clock in your imagination, okay? So when I say this to people, usually they can see an alarm clock in their mind's eye. And just watch this alarm clock for a little while and just see what it looks like. And then imagine the alarm clock starts to ring. So you'll see the alarm clock shaking and you'll hear the bells from the alarm clock as it's ringing. And then what you need to do is imagine the alarm clock stops ringing, so it's just back like a still alarm clock again. And then you need to say to the spirit world, okay, show me a time on the alarm clock. So you might just see the hands appear, or some people might see the alarm clock coming closer to their view and see some hands appear on the clock. And just take note of what the time says on the clock. And then what you need to do is imagine the alarm clock just fading away, so there's now nothing in your imagination. Now what you need to do is say to the spirit world, show me something random, okay? Now this might not come up straight away, you just need to be a little bit patient, but just wait for something to come up in your mind's eye out of the blue without prior thought. The reason I say without prior thought is because anything that comes in your imagination without you thinking about it first is usually the spirit world showing you this. Now you're going to think it's your imagination, but 9 times out of 10 it's actually not. The spirit world will show you images without prior thought. So if you keep doing this, imagine something just popping up, something random, and when you see that, imagine it just fading away, and then tell the spirit world again, show you something else random, and then see that just fading away, and then do it again. Just say, show me something else random. Keep doing this until the images start becoming a little bit more clearer. The more you practice this, the better it will become, okay? And here's the thing, when you actually do this in front of friends or strangers or family, for instance, say to the spirit world, show me something for this person. And you'll be very surprised with the results, because the spirit world will usually show you something that relates to them, okay? So I'll give an example of this. They might show something along the lines of like a glass of wine falling over, or a wine glass on the floor with a stain on the carpet. So if you say this to them, would you understand the wine glass falling on the floor, or have you spilled a drink recently? 9 times out of 10 they will say, yes, actually I spilled one today, or I spilled one yesterday. That's really good. So the more you do this, the more the spirit world will give you as well. So For instance, if you keep doing it, they'll start giving you names, dates, they'll even give you an image of the person who's communicating, which could be their grandparents, their parents. They'll even give you images of pets and things like that. And the more you do it, the better you'll get. So just bear that in mind when you're starting off with this. And what else is important is you must gain evidence for yourself to know that you're speaking to spirit world as well. So you need to confirm with them that what you're seeing is correct. That's very important. So if you see a wine glass on the floor, you need to ask, when did you spill this and what did you spill? This way you know that it's actually spirit giving you the images and not just your imagination, okay? And that's very important. Another thing to be aware of is that some people, when you first start this or throughout your mediumship career, some people might say yes to everything. Now I've found this happen quite a few times. Some people will just say yes for the sake of saying yes. So you need to confirm with them what you're getting is real and not just them saying yes. An example of this could be something ridiculous, like you could say, would you understand the three-legged wasp that used to wear a bikini? And they'll still say yes. So just be aware of that when you first start off. Another thing to be aware of is that sometimes when you first start off, the spirit world will only give you things that are stored in your internal memory, okay? An example of this would be they would not be able to give you something that you've not seen or heard before. They won't be able to give you like a foreign name, for instance, that you've never heard before when you're first starting off. And they won't be able to give you images of a person that you've never seen before. Because what the spirit world do is they actually use your mind and they activate parts of your mind to show you things that are already in your mind when you're first starting off with this. So, and that's just another thing to be aware of there. But the more you practice this, the better it will become. And before you know it, you'll be a real clairvoyant medium and not just a one that's using their imagination, like I talked about in previous videos. And the more you do it, the more evidence you'll get. And before you know it, everybody will be asking you for messages and you'll become a real medium. And if I had my way, everybody in the world would become a medium and they would be speaking to the spirit world on a regular basis. But sadly, because of religion and things like that, not everybody's going to spend the time trying to communicate with the spirit world, which is a shame. So that's it for this video. So if you practice this technique, hopefully this will work for you. If you've got any more questions about this technique, please leave a comment on the video or ask me on Facebook. It's Lee Gate. And please subscribe to my channel, Real Spirit Dynamics, and I will be making more videos about the spirit world. Thanks for listening.